Double Busters!
Hi, I'm Alberto. I haven't been much of an academic since I was a child, and I also wasn't very proficient in sports. But I was the kind of ankle biter that would dedicate all my time and effort to something I wanted to do, hobbies especially. But as I wasn't too interested in graduating a good high school or university, I went to an ordinary regional high school and to a below-average college after I graduated. Because I'd graduated with grades that were far from anything exceptional, I did part-time work after college. Work tuckered me out today too. And also, why would a grandmother come to the shop late at night to buy a comic of all things? Not to mention it was Death Note. What's up with that taste in literature? Too funny. Hey yo, that was close! Illegal parking in my parking space? Who the hell does this Mercedes belong to? Suspicious about the expensive car in my parking space, I went inside the house. Everyone must be asleep. Hey yo, what? Where are you up, Cynthia? And who the hell are you?
Bro, come on! That's rude of you! This is my fiancé, Jonathan! I brought him home before. You couldn't have forgotten already!
Did you? That Mercedes belongs to you! It was a drag, you know, parking in my space without my knowing about it. What? Your father gave me permission. In that case, how about you park your car on the curb instead? The heck? This is my house! Why do I gotta move my car? Because it isn't a big deal if a second-hand heap like yours gets a bit damaged, right? That Mercedes is my car, you know? No matter how hard you'll try, it'll always be out of reach for a part-timer like you, Mr. Alberto. Huh? You listen to me!
Bro, that's enough! What time do you think it is? Mom and Dad are both asleep!
Oh, crap. Still living with your parents at your age. I wonder what folks think of that. Are you too attached to mommy? Or are you just a parasite? You frickin' bastard! Enough, I say! Insulting me every time you open your mouth. Who do you think you are? I am more elite than you, Mr. Alberto. I'm one prodigy that graduated a top university and found a job at a prestigious company, unlike someone who's still sucking the life out of his parents even during adulthood. You talking to me like that, eh? You can't even realize that your head's up in the clouds? Oh, dear sir. The frick?
Shut up! My sweet ass! Enough with the fighting, both of you! Especially you, bro! Don't talk back at him like that, okay? What Jonathan says is true, after all.
Oh, my sympathies. Oh, I could kill you right now.
It's the truth, isn't it? Mediocrity from a young age. You couldn't study or play sports since forever. You always seemed like a failed human being in my eyes. But just that mouth of yours is quite developed, and that's a problem. Mom and Dad both know this too.
And what are you saying, Missy? Singing out of the blue? This isn't a musical, is it?
Hang on. Could it be that you have no idea? Dad's thinking of making Jonathan the CEO next period and leave the company in his hands. You can only trust the elite in running a company, after all. You couldn't have thought that you would inherit his company, right? Because you're his firstborn son? Bullshit, I say. Dumber than a termite.
If you don't stop this, I'm gonna lose it. I'm warning you. I'm not gonna hold back. You mustn't say incorrect things either, Cynthia, honey. It's not that he can't do anything at all. He can still steal his parents' money. That's it! I don't know if you're from an elite school, Jonathan. Learn how to talk to those older than you. I'm going to bed. I'm tired from work. Good night. Good night, dude. God frickin' damn it. What a day. Cynthia's boyfriends have all been intolerable jerks, but this Jonathan prick is leagues beyond everyone else. He only tries to get a one-up on me. Someone older than him. Who the hell does he think he is? Oh, I'm so pissed. And also, were Cynthia's words true? Dad's really gonna leave the company in Jonathan's hands? What are you thinking, Dad? I've worked so hard in my part-time work. How could you do this to me? As you've seen, every time Jonathan comes to visit, he would condescend to me whenever he could. I wasn't sure if he was that proud of his education, but if you told me I would become the brother-in-law of a slime bag like that, I would rather break ties with my whole family. And then, my own father would give me the most unbelievable news. Alberto, son, what are you gonna do for the wedding outfit? Huh? Wedding? Son, Don't tell me you've forgotten about it. It's next week, buddy. Hang on a second. Whose wedding? Why, Cynthia's, of course. Are you getting brain fog already? Oh, hell, no. Not at such a young age. What a pity. I'm not getting dementia, Dad. My hair's getting thinner, and I do feel the age settling in. Yeah, right, Buster. And no one ever told me about the wedding. What? You hadn't heard? When in the world did that happen? At this point, more than 2 months ago. Cynthia told me she'd tell you herself. Why would she stay quiet about that? Getting married? Not to that Jonathan, I hope. But of course. Golf balls, of course. Bruh! What in the world was Cynthia planning? Even though her wedding had been decided, she never told me, her own older brother. But recently, I have been pretty busy, so maybe she just never found the right time to tell me. I decided to ask them a few things when they would come to visit us before the wedding. So, guys, are you tying the knot? Dad told me the wedding's next week.
Huh? Dad told you?
I told you to keep your parents' mouths shut. What?
There's no use hiding it if you know it now. That's right. The wedding's next week.
Is that so? Congratulations. You live happy, yeah? Upon hearing that they'd asked my parents to keep it a secret, my fury was about to overflow. But I forced it back down and offered my words of congratulations. But the next instant, Jonathan would utter something that would rock me to my core. But even so, Alberto, don't come to the wedding, okay? A negative IQ pile of trash like you. You're strictly forbidden from coming. Maybe if your tiny brain could think a minute, but it's my wedding. The folks I invited are all elites. It's obvious that a mole rat of the likes of you, Alberto, isn't allowed to come to such a ceremony. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my Jonathan, you really said it. But I'm all for what he says. And also, I want to stop calling you my big brother, to be honest.
Guys, if you're kidding around, know your limits. You really think this is funny? How about you rack that frickin' pea brain of yours? You really think we're joking here? You have multiple loose screws then.
Aren't you so embarrassed to be ridiculed by people younger than you? You're so pathetic.
That's why Mommy and Daddy are gonna throw you away too. Probably know already, but your dad's company will be mine. Their fortune will also be invested in the company, they say. Not a crumb will be left for you in the end, you know? This is what happens to folks who siphon so much from their parents. All that being said, we're gonna celebrate the epitome of our happiness next week. Well, you'll be back at square zero. See you. And with that, they disappeared out the door. I was speechless that entire time, but that wasn't because I was raised with good manners. Those soul-wrenching things they said to me. Vengeance will be mine. There's still a week until their wedding day. They're not getting away with this. Trouble busters! I then told Dad something. And using that 1 week period, I planned my revenge carefully and cunningly. And then, the big day finally arrived. Of course, I wasn't invited, so I decided to relax at home. The ceremony was going to start at around 9 o'clock in the morning. Now it was 8:30 in the morning. I chose to wait and read a book. Not 5 minutes later, Cynthia called me.
Hey! What's going on here? I can't contact Mom and Dad! And no one's here at the wedding hall! But the person in charge told us it's all been canceled! This is your doing, isn't it?
Cancelled? Oh, that was all me, little sister. That was funny.
How could you do this to us? My own moment of glory? You ruined it all! Were you freaking fed up with being mocked? All of that is the truth, isn't it?
Ah, I see. Seems like you don't know anything. I wasn't the one who canceled the wedding.
Huh?
Dad did.
What?
Who?
Stop with that attitude! There's no way it was Dad!
Then why don't you get your ass over here? See ya. I hung up with that cliffhanger. Half an hour later, Cynthia and Jonathan burst into the house, redder than Mars. I went back to my room and waited for Dad to tell them everything. Another 10 minutes after they first arrived. As I imagined, they came to me.
Please,
forgive us. Hang on, both of you groveling at my feet? Oh, pray tell, how did this come about? Did part of that brain rot away or something? Mr. Turner Sr. has just told us everything. We never knew you invested the money into his company. Honest to heaven, we didn't know. I may not be working, but my real job is in investing after all. I may not be an elite, but I make what you prodigies make 100-fold. With that money, I got Dad out of a sticky rut. Understand? Dad didn't provide the money for your wedding. I did. Rut.
You were paying for everything, Alberto?
My, one at a time, please. Yes, Dad's company was in the red. The succession's been completed, right? Before the wedding, you were saying about now being the CEO. Please, wait a minute. Is this all true? I was offering support for everything that wasn't enough. That's why a company full of empty business ideas could survive this whole time, son. But I'm halting all investments in the future, so you better do your best to get back into the green on your own. About the wedding funds. Exactly 2 months ago, Dad came to me asking for some money. And turns out, that went into your wedding. Since it was cancelled, there will be a cancellation fee. I will rightfully demand you for the money back.
Hang on! We can't just do what you wish out of the blue!
And if I became the CEO of a failing company, seems you were acting like the elite hog that you are in front of Dad too. What? That's why he wanted his company's successor to be you. Dad himself never had many skills in business. Maybe he thought that you too could get it back on its knees. No way. As for you, little sister, there's no estate left for you.
What?
Dad told me this. But what was gonna be for you was used to pay off the company's debts. But the fact remains that even with that used up, the debt is still huge. Jonathan, I recall you saying that you were gonna enjoy the epitome of your happiness with this wedding, and that I would start back at square zero. Damn, what a switchy. Cynthia will now carry the debts of the wedding funds and the cancellation fee, and Jonathan will shoulder a debt-infested failure of a company. Ready or not, the square zero race about to commence. I kicked them out of my room after I said everything I wanted to. Even later on, they would both come begging at my door for my money, but I ignored them. And Dad, who was indebted to me, was completely on board. He's now contemplating cutting ties with the couple after he found out how they acted up until now. Alberto, son, are you free now? I am. But Dad, you know that company of yours went bankrupt, right? A company? The one you made Jonathan his successor? Well, I knew a quasi-elite dickwad like him could never get it out of debt. Who cares about that? Good riddance on those 2 mosquitoes who know no gratitude, right? I stopped by to ask you a favor, actually. Is investing easy? Ayo? I want to start investing, to tell you the truth. I refuse to let you take care of me all the time. This is my way of thanking you for my childhood, Dad. Don't worry about that. But still... In that case, how about we go on a hot spring vacation to your hometown? Be my travel guide. How's that for a compromise? Ladies and gentlemen, my son. Alright, a little trip, just the 2 of us. Now that's what I'm talking about! Later, I lived my usual life with my parents, the 3 of us. But I realized this. The happiness one must feel for living normally, and the joy of feeling the gratitude from others. I know I'll be happy if I went on living with these 2 wonderful people. Trouble Busters!